Hello, everybody.
Oh, this way.
That way. There we go. Bam. Bam.
What?
How are you, everybody?
Hi. Okay. What's that little spot over there?
What spot?
Hi. Good evening. We're just in from Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
West Palm Beach.
Oh,
Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale.
and Fort Lauderdale. So it's been a busy 4 or 5 days.
And we're just getting in, literally walking in the door.
About
So we're
half
going to
an
be
hour ago.
with you and say hello, everybody, and hope you're ready for Happily Married Mondays with the Jolleys, with me, Dr. Willie Jolley, and my beautiful, brilliant bride, Dee Taylor Jolley.
Good evening.
With her cool glasses on tonight. So
I'm red tonight as opposed to blue.
So anyway, I want to say hello to everybody, and we are just getting in. I want to give a shout out to all the people who were in attendance at our marriage seminar that we did at the Now Church in Hollywood, Florida, where my friend Pastor Javen Campbell is the pastor.
Hosted the event.
We had a wonderful, wonderful time with everybody there who came out. Had a full packed house, and I'm grateful for all of the folks, as well as the wonderful comments from people afterwards about how our message really resonated with them. Many of them were really struggling in their marriages, and some had some major issues that we were able to, at least in the time that we had,
Get them to talk about it.
get them to talk about.
You can't resolve what you don't even acknowledge.
That's right. Getting the unsaid said. You know, it's one thing to have communication, but open and honest communication is when you get the unsaid said, as my friend Stephen Gaffney says. So, a couple things real quick we want to start off with. We are having our Thursday night and hopefully we'll start it monthly, online seminar, where it's a real seminar, not just what we do here Monday nights where we cover just a topic area, but we take your questions in real time on the seminar. And we realize a lot of people have a lot of issues that are really concerning to them and want to get some insight into how they can deal with them. We get questions when we do these marriage seminars. People fill out cards and they pass them in, and we get so many interesting questions, and then we get the ones that people say afterwards where they pull us aside. So you will be able to be anonymous. You'll be able to ask your question, and we'll talk about answering questions and topics that seem to be in common with a number of people. So this Thursday, the 27th at 9 o'clock.
Which is our date night, really.
Is our date night. $20 registration per couple to pay for this technology that allows us to be able to take your questions in real time and do the seminar. So, if you're interested, and I highly recommend you, if you're a couple, you'll be interested, that you send us an email at info@williejolly.com, and Cheryl will then respond to you. Cheryl Reagan of our staff will respond and get you registered and straight. So info@williejolly.com, INF as in Frank O at WILLIEJOLLEY.com. All right? Great.
Yes, sir.
For those that don't know, somebody might just be joining us. This all was generated from my new book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. And we are grateful for the book and the impact it's having, and we're grateful for our son who pushed us to do the book. And then out of that came also our audio series, 2 CD package that we did, where it's a live seminar, which is dynamite. I just say, as I told the group the other night,
It answers some great questions.
Great questions, and it came through us, not particularly from us, and we give God glory for that. Okay, one of the big things that we get over and over again, we got it when we were in Richmond with the church we were in Richmond. We've gotten it at just about every church, every marriage seminar, every event where we even broach the subject of marriage. We get the question, how do you handle and deal with the drama that comes from blending of families in a marriage? Blended families. Dee, give us some of the statistics, please.
How do you know I have statistics?
You always have statistics.
So, according to the Pew Research Center, more than 40% of American adults have at least one step relative.
Wow.
And what does that mean? A step relative. That's a child,
Mm-hmm.
a sibling, or a parent. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And the problems are all the same with one addition.
What does that?
So what does that mean? So in relationships, we know we've got communication,
Mm-hmm.
we have sex, and we have money. Those are the top 3 issues. And we also know that those issues are all fueled by lack of effective communication, which affects the sex, which affects the money. I don't have enough. I don't know where it is. Nobody's sharing where the dollars are. But once you add a marriage where there are children, the problems go from communication, sex, and money. Then you add children, his and hers. Now, let's remember, we've got about 50% of first-time marriages end in divorce. That's Christian and non-Christian. We have 60% of second marriages end in divorce.
Wow.
60%, about 60% of the second time around, that end in divorce. Now, if both of those parties have children, the number increases to 70%.
I wonder why. Because it's the drama that comes from
It's the drama that comes from attempting to merge those 2 families and those sets of children.
Right.
Now, and you say, well, why else the drama? The different cultures that you bring to the relationship that
Right.
you're going to bring anyway when just 2 people get married. You've got financial stress.
Yep.
Because you've got continuing to support perhaps the first household and some of the children, but you've got divided money issues, so you have financial stress. You've got different parenting styles. We had that. We're
Yep.
a blended family.
We're
We
a
have
blended
different parenting styles.
Yep.
And then you've got divided loyalties. So it seems to be the major
Now, what
thing.
does that mean?
Divided loyalties. Well, I can't really, our case, I can't really like you because if I really like you, and I admit that, then that means I'm just loyal to my mama. Or if I really like my stepdad and he's really wonderful and he's falling all over himself to do these things to me, am I being disloyal to my dad? So that's where we kind of end up. And the research, Pew Research also says that in less than 25% of the cases when people get married who have bring children to the table, bring children to the marriage, less than 25% of them even attempt to get counseling. Because you don't really think about getting counseling before you get married. We really kind of
With
think
the
about
children.
With the children.
Right.
You know,
we think of
I'm
premarital counseling
Right.
with the 2 spouses.
Right.
But we don't even think about what are the children going to say? How does it impact them?
Right.
What part do they play?
Right.
And we've seen a number of our friends who got married and they broke up. Not because they didn't love each other, it's because the children
could not get along. It was just too painful, and
Right.
they had to pick. Is it my kids, the ones that I bore, I have loyalties to them, or this new person that I married, and didn't seem to be anything in the middle
Right.
to help them.
Well,
to get
let's
along.
tell our story.
Okay, why don't you?
So our story is this. When we got married, I had a 10-year-old daughter. I was a single dad who had a 10-year-old daughter who lived with me part-time. She was with me summers and holidays. And even when I started dating Dee, she and Dee were fine. She liked Dee. Now remember, I had been dating other ladies, and she was cool with them.
I was just one of the mix.
That's actually,
really.
in reality, in her mind, you were just another one of the nice ladies who my dad was friends with. Okay, that in her mind had to be. So then one day, we get married.
We eloped.
We eloped, and when we came back, we was married. And in that day, everything shifted with my daughter.
In her head, yeah.
And she went from thinking, she's told us that she went from thinking, this is a nice lady, to this lady's trying to move me out and take my spot with my dad.
Yeah.
And you talk about drama.
And we didn't know that until years later.
Right.
That that's what she was thinking.
Right. And and we talk about it in the book with her permission. And so it was hell. That's it was tough. It was hard. I was in the middle between two people I loved. What do I do? And then we added to the mix by having a child between the two of us, William. And so we added a mix now.
And we had different parenting styles.
And different parenting styles, yeah.
So we had the whole mess.
It was very, very, very difficult. It was very stressful on our marriage, and it was very perplexing for me what to do. What do I do? Well, let me tell you what I did. I talked to my mama. That's what I did. I talked to my mama. And my mama told me something that she said had been her standby when she was raising my brother and I, when she was going through challenging times. She said, let me tell you, I don't have the answer to tell you what to do about this blending of families because I've never actually experienced that firsthand. Because when I got married to your father, I had no children, he had no children, and we had the two of you boys, so we didn't have a blended family. So let me tell you what I've done in the years when I'm going through tough, challenging experiences. I pray about it. So I recommend you pray about it. And ask for wisdom. Ask for wisdom to tell you what to do when you don't know what to do. That's what we've learned to be wise answers. Are those answers that come to you that will tell you the wise choice to do when you don't really know what to do. And so I did that. I prayed, God, give me wisdom. Let me know what to do in this because this is tearing me apart. It's so hard. It's so hard. And he did give me wisdom, and he taught me how to get through this and to love both of them and to set some ground rules and to set some standards and to show my daughter that no one could replace her, and to show my wife that that her position is secure. And we were able to get through it, and not only get through it, to go through it, but to grow through it. And we had counseling.
Yes.
And we had counseling.
So you're saying first, what do we suggest? You said pray about it. Pray for wisdom.
Pray for wisdom.
Okay.
Yep, pray for wisdom. And then set some ground rules.
So I would say pray for wisdom. Then I would say you have to communicate with each other.
Yes.
That's the next thing.
Maybe that's the next step. And by setting ground rules, you're talking about, you're communicating. Here is how we're going to set up our new household. This is different than her mother's household and where she would go when she would go back to her mom's house. And we have a different setup, a different culture. You know, we talk about that when you get married to somebody, you leave, you cleave, and you weave. So you leave your parents and your old situation. When I was a child, I thought like a child, I acted like a child, but when I became a man or a woman, I put away childish things. So we leave. Then we cleave together. We become one. And we're on the same team as we were at a seminar not long ago. My friends Stan and Sharice had said, Richard said that they are on the same team even when they're not always on agreeing on something. They have to tell us something. We're on the same team. Let's work.
Okay, I like that. Let's go back.
And then
so
so leave, cleave, and weave a new culture. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You said first pray for wisdom, which
Yep.
you did do. Then we had to talk about it. So we couldn't leave, cleave, and weave if we had not communicated, this is what's bothering me. This is what's upsetting you. This is how our daughter is acting. Why is she acting that way?
Right.
So we had to get through all of that
Right.
before we could even come up with a plan. And that's difficult conversation. This is how this makes me feel what's happening in this household at this time.
Right.
This does not work for me. This is what I'm not used to. Okay, so I had a culture, you had a culture, and we had to talk about it to come up with a new plan.
Yes.
Okay?
And be sensitive to the children's feelings in the sense of let's have a time to talk to them. Let's try and get some communication from them.
And that can be difficult, especially when they're young. They have hormones and issues that have nothing that perhaps not directly related to the fact that you guys got married. That's just another problem.
So which is why we did the counseling.
Yes.
And when she said her,
Yes.
she.
I didn't have a name.
And the counselor said, does she have a name? And it's her. Her.
I know. So that was interesting to see me talk about like in the third person. That was an eye opener.
So we know that a lot of people have come up to Dee. When we were at the church in Richmond, we were amazed how many women primarily, but a couple men came up and talked to you about, because she was open, very open about the challenges of being the step parent.
And being supportive when I really felt like his parenting style was not what I would do.
Right.
Let's keep it real. Let's go back.
Okay.
So first we had to pray, because
Right.
we had to pray about it.
Right.
Then we had to talk to each other honestly about what the challenges were so we could come with a plan. And we had to talk to our daughter too. And we did that. We realized we needed counseling.
Right.
So I don't know if that's communication with counseling or whatever. We had to do counseling.
One thing you just heard, I want to give a big point. Big point. Did you just hear Dee say our daughter? She didn't say your daughter. One of the challenges we see in blending of families is we put them in a step position, which we don't recommend you do. She became our daughter. I think about Danny Cox. Danny Cox is one of our dear friends. He's a former
Fighter pilot.
Who became a speaker, and he was a very successful, I think real estate was his expertise, or when he came out of the service. But whatever was the business he was very successful. He met a lady whose husband was missing in action in Vietnam. And they became friends. They were neighbors. And then one day the news came that he had been killed in action, and they found his body. And Danny said, I'll be here to support you and your 3 daughters. They were friends by this time. And they went on to fall in love, and he became the parent to these 3 girls. I have never heard him say step parent. And all these years.
And how he tells stories, how he talks about the fact that the girls are saying, we are getting married.
Right.
That was a buy-in from the very
He
beginning.
said, we are getting married. My mom is not getting married. We are getting married.
And they were excited. That's not always the case, though.
Yeah, but the fact was that he never took a position of these are his stepdaughters or her children. He said, these are my daughters.
Right.
He's raised them as his daughters.
Right.
He had no biological children on his own, but he raised them, and they love him. And even now with the grandkids, these are our grandkids.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's a big takeaway for everybody who's watching and learning from this. Once you become a blended family, it's us. It's our family.
And I think, and the step parent, the one who marries into the one who marries into the having all the children, you have to be it and say it before they will accept it. It's like being the more mature one.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a whole bunch of issues that go with that, but you've got to decide, I'm going to be in it, and I'm going to say and do the right thing, even if I don't feel like it, because that's the right thing to do.
Right.
And that's how you're going to build that relationship.
So communication is so critical.
And with counseling, okay, then you got to present a united front, because there are always going to be issues.
Yeah.
I don't have time to talk about other
Well, I think
issues.
part of that is the fact that if the other parent is involved in the raising of the children, y'all are co-parenting. Even though you've remarried, they're still the biological parent. And what we learned was that we had a lot of challenges until her mother and myself were able to get on the same page, and Dee and I were on the same page.
That took a while.
It took a while, but we had to keep talking and communicating and civility. One of the things we find
even if the other parent isn't civil.
Even if they aren't, but you've got to be civil, best you can. Yeah. But hopefully that you can find some civility in raising this child or co-parenting, because one of the things we've learned, and every parent who got teenagers know, if you don't have a united front, the children are positioned, children are
they will use that divisiveness.
Yeah, but there's an innateness about them that says we'll play both ends against the middle.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's almost like it's inbred in them. That's what I wanted to say. That they come out like, let's play both sides against the middle. Mama said I could do it. We
got a lot of that.
Oh yeah, we did. So blending of families can lead to a lot of drama. Kids can be nasty.
Expect that.
And you
don't take it personal.
You do not have to respond or react to their nastiness in the same way they gave it. Now that's what I'm saying to the adult in the room. You do not have to be on the same level as that young person. I think
that requires a certain level of discipline that you might not have initially. You might be shocked about it. I was shocked about it.
Yeah.
I was not aware that children are allowed to be disrespectful. It's like, oh my God, what is this?
Right.
So I had to get myself together to be able to deal with it.
So you don't have to respond by that. What did you do? Tell people what you did by putting the face of William on Latoya. I think that's so profound.
Okay, that was a certain level of sophistication that I had to get to.
Well, tell what it is.
Okay, so once I realized that this was the hand that I had been dealt, and I talked to my mama about quickly when her mother came to pick her up and take her back because we were too strict. And I shared with my best friend. That was absolutely wonderful because we now had a peaceful household. And then we had to go back and get her because she was acting out, and I had to be supportive of my husband in that effort, even though I knew it was going to make my household topsy-turvy again. I had to work through it. So how did I work through it? I worked through it when I realized, you know what? I'm older than he is. What if this scenario came and I died and I left this little boy here who is acting out? He's
if I had remarried.
And he would remarry. He's charming. He'd remarry. So here he is, a young, handsome man. He's got a little kid. He's got my son. And he'd want to remarry and have a mother for his kids and a wife and companion, all of that. How would I want that new wife, that new mother, that stepmother to treat my son? I'd want her to be understanding. I'd want her to go the extra mile because he's a child. She's an adult. I would expect her to be thoughtful, to be kind, and to do all that she could to help raise him properly. So you know what? I had to put that on. So I had to put that face of my son or my daughter to say, you know what? I can work through this. I'm going to love her in spite of how she's acting. Because really, she doesn't mean that. It's not me. It's what I represented in terms of that person who's standing between her and her dad. And once I took the position of, I'm going to be helpful, I'm going to be thoughtful, and I am going to keep my mouth shut about so many things. I'm not going to fuel the fire, and I'm going to be supportive of the primary parent. Everything changed. It was gradual, but it changed over time. that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that was a profound point. And you see, my wife is a wise woman. So, wisdom, folks, we want you to get wisdom. Marriages are challenging, marriages can be difficult. So many people we're talking to who are challenged in their marriages. We get calls every day now, emails every day. And we try and address as many, but that's why we're saying if you got problems, please join us on Thursday night.
So we can go in depth more with a problem, answer specifically the situation that you're facing to help you work through that. Let's get back to what else do we do. Understand we're on the same team.
Yep, on the same team.
We're on the team Jolley. So everybody got to fall in line.
That's right. We're trying to win it, and we're in it to win it together. It takes teamwork to make the dream work.
But also we realize that we married the whole family. Now, I talked to some people who have blended families or who are newly married, like when we were, I think it was in Richmond, and one of the couples said, well, we've only been, I married him. Yes, but you married him and the 2 daughters that he had.
Right.
And the mother of the 2 daughters.
Right.
And her mama. You got everybody.
Everybody's
you really
in this.
Do.
Everybody plays a part.
Yes.
Everybody plays a part. And you've got to do your best to be wise, to be able to not ruffle feathers. You don't have to always get angry. Remember those 4 F's in having difficult conversations. Be friendly. Always be friendly. Be frank. Tell them how this made me feel.
If you can't be friendly, you can at least be pleasant. You have a pleasant expression on your face.
Yeah, be friendly and pleasant, not hostile. That's all I'm saying. Be friendly, be frank. This is how you made me feel, or that made me feel. Be fair. Here's how I feel. Give me another perspective. Oh, I didn't realize. And then be focused on a win-win, a positive result to this. So, go.
Okay.
So we almost out of time.
Okay, and that the biological parent is in charge of the parenting.
Of is the lead.
Is
parent.
the lead? Yes.
All right, typically,
yes.
Because we get this often. Well, what about who disciplines?
Right.
Well, we recommend that the biological parent be the disciplinarian.
Because the child doesn't want to really be disciplined to begin with.
Right.
And it's more resentful when you weren't there for any of the pleasure in the making of the child. How dare you tell me if I'm the child and you're not my biological parent what to do? That's real.
That's real. And we get a lot of parents say, I can't spank them. We have a situation just recently where they broke up because we didn't get a chance to really work with them before they were already gone, basically, when the book came out. So we get that often, so often. Don't the biological parents said, don't, like one of your friends who said, don't touch my child. And it got ugly, and it just, boom. So
you
look,
know what? Okay, I know.
we got
we're
time
at the end.
out.
It makes me think, as I talk to more friends, married and unmarried, that we need to have this is what you need to think about before you get married, really.
Well, that's true. All right, so go to jollymarriage.com. Jollymarriage.com. Get 2 copies of the books if you're married. 1 for each of you, and read it together. We don't want you to read it as separate. One read it and then the other one read it. No. We want you to read it together. At the end of each chapter, discuss the learning points at the end of each chapter that we have bulleted, so that you can discuss and learn with each other and grow together at the same time. 2 books, we give you a deal for 2 books. 1 book is $27.95. 2 books for $40. So get 2 books. For a few more dollars, you get 2 books. Get them together, read it together. After you finish reading, save 1, put it on your shelf or your bookshelf as a resource, and the other one, you bless somebody in your network who's going through challenges. Then get the audio.
It goes in depth.
2 CDs.
On some issues, yes.
Particularly sex and the money issues. Goes in depth, particularly in sex, money, and communication. And it's funny, and it's engaging, and it will bless you because of the questions we got from the audience at the end that we handled. Jollymarriage.com. You can't get it at Amazon. Jollymarriage.com. You'll be glad you did. And this Thursday night, which will be the 27th.
At 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock. Email us at info@williejolly.com if you want to get registered for the marriage triage. That's going to be our marriage online real-time ask question seminar. Marriage triage, $20 per registration, is much cheaper than a divorce lawyer.
Yeah.
Jolly out. God bless you. Bye-bye.